them, and they said, well, you know, it wasn't our fault, the culverts were delayed, and I said, well, it also wasn't the county's fault.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I was looking at the budget or the pay request yesterday,
Sure.
and basically where we're at now with the increase in the culvert size, they were obviously complaining.
Yeah.
We're still under budget, under what they're bidding.
Good.
So we didn't have to go down quite as far in the excavation underneath. There was an old concrete foundation.
Oh, sure.
That we had utilized, so.
Got some benefit out of that.
It's 11 o'clock. It started with a regular public meeting Tuesday, December 31st, last one of the year. Any public comment before we get started?
Did you hear anything about our fertilizer plant over at Culbertson or Mainville or wherever?
Nothing since July.
Nothing since July.
Haven't heard it died yet.
Well, I heard that Montana Supreme Court upheld the lower court ruling of those 6 kids over there in Planet.
The health case is gonna screw, the health case is gonna screw any economic development of anything.
Of
in
anything,
Montana.
of anything.
Yep, it's gonna be, it's oil, gas and coal is gonna really be affected. Don't know how for sure, but it's gonna be affected, you know. Every project's gonna have lots of different regulations and rules, and engineers are gonna get rich.
Yep.
Figuring out how to comply with all the rules.
Bunch of that damn kids that financed by dark money.
Yeah, and the thing is, when they drive their car, if they have one, up to the gas pump, there ain't gonna be no gas.
Yeah, no, I testified on that health case.
They
Well, did
don't
you?
even realize probably what they're doing.
I don't think so either. I mean, even electricity has gotta have
It's gonna
some
affect
form of
everything.
generation.
It's gonna affect everything, all projects,
Yeah.
even farmers.
So when is it, or when is it gonna hit the,
Well, it's still, I don't know. It's not complete yet.
you know,
It's still being, the Supreme Court hasn't ruled on everything. I don't know what for sure exactly where it's at. It gets pretty complicated really fast.
it's disastrous
Yeah.
for life in Montana.
Yeah.
It is.
The Montana Association of Oil, Gas and Coal Counties. Executive director's watching it real close, and she's the one that helped me do the
Well,
testimony on
you've gotta think that sooner or later, the big oil companies or bigger energy companies are gonna start.
it. Well, and legislation will take care of some of that this legislative session also. This is a plan, I think. But I don't know, you know, they do something in the Supreme Court, somebody sues on
It'll
that,
just
so,
be challenged.
you know, it's gonna go around in circles for a while.
So should we all be getting big 4,000 gallon gas tanks in our backyard? And start,
It's gonna affect everything. I don't know how, for sure. It's not over yet.
No.
Yeah, that's about as deep a topic as you can get into if you're.
no.
Okay, any other public comment? None. Okay, seeing
The
none.
mayor didn't make it.
Yeah, we'll move on.
He's on the way, yes.
Yeah.
He'll be here shortly, so.
Yeah.
We'll move on to administrative issues.
Minutes.
Minutes.
Oh yeah, we have to do minutes for December 17th. Motion to accept the regular public, meeting minutes, December 17th.
Now I'll make motion to approve as printed.
Second, discussion or comments on, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion to accept resolution 2025-14. The community reinvestment plan.
Make motion.
Second,
Second.
okay, this is House Bill 819 created, shortage of work, housing
Yeah.
shortage. And it's supposed to, create some money for your housing shortages in your communities for workforce housing. You have to be under a certain percent of, income to qualify. Roosevelt County will have $375,000 initial money that could be invested in workforce housing. There's all kinds of rules, regulations, parameters on it. But the biggest one we have to do is we have to select a organization to run this workforce housing project program. And we went through, had some calls and Zoom meetings. Corey with Great Northern Development set us up here with a lot of this stuff, and we went through and we selected HAB Corporation to represent Roosevelt County's Community Reinvestment Organization. So we appoint them, and then they take care of all the paperwork. They line things up, try to get people to use it. They also have, they invest money in it also, so it makes the money go further. So there's a couple different programs that they're gonna try to utilize to get more workforce housing. One thing they said on this, like in Wolf Point, maybe it could work, is it reduce your pay by 30%. Your pay of your buy a house, they could reduce it by about 30% of how much you have to pay in on your loan. But then there's some restrictions and parameters on that. But you have to also qualify. It's only like up to 140% of poverty income. So it's for the lower income people. And if you're within 100 miles of a state prison, then you get a lot of benefits. It was kind of written for that. So people around Deer Lodge. Deer Lodge would be the only one. And it was, a lot of this money is gonna go to the area around Deer Lodge for workforce housing. But
The problem is
Almost ran.
everything is for low income.
Almost ran.
yeah,
And there's middle income people that can't afford it.
this is all for low income
We'll get there.
and it has the
We'll
parameters on it.
get to you at the bottom of the meeting.
But, yeah, it's but it might help us out a little bit here, but
Yeah.
don't know, see, we just, that's our biggest, this only hoop that we have to run through is to appoint this. Within this resolution, appoints HAB Development Corporation to Roosevelt County's Community Reinvestment Organization. By selecting HAB Development Corporation, they work with government partners and interested stakeholders that support HAB. And then they'll implement housing solutions for participants in Roosevelt County. So I guess if it works, it works. If it doesn't, we're not out anything, but it might work. Any questions by commissioners?
No.
Yes.
Do you have any information on this company that you could hand out?
No, I don't.
I think Great Northern does. They've
Yeah.
used them before.
I mean, I can give you this. I got a sheet right here that has it on it. It's not really on, it's just not the program.
The only thing that I would add in here that HAB is a 501c3 charitable organization.
There was only two organizations that qualified to be the organizer. One is in Missoula and this one's a Billings.
And this one actually works in this area.
Yeah, and they've already worked with Yellowstone County, and the one in Missoula was not organized and not really up and running, and this HAB has private investors that are gonna put money into the program. So it was kind of easy to choose. For the two.
Is this a program that was for like low interest homes? But if you sell the home, but if you sell it, then any profit above what you paid for.
Yeah,
has to be
that's all
reinvested.
part of this program. That's one of the parameters on if you get a lower wage, you get a 30% reduction in your housing. Payment, house payment.
HAB.
Yeah. That's the name of the organization. They're also tied in with, Neighbor Works in Montana. It's another group that they're tied in with. Any questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Motion to accept claims for $574,163.29.
Take motion.
Question or comment?
What? 150,000 for the slab project.
Two diggers.
We did use 52,000 was to own this and associates PC, that must be on it. What was the first one, Robert? Two diggers for that slab project. Oh, up off of the county line up there.
I can't, what percent is that paid? About 70 now?
It'd be pretty close. They requested another, they started working on it, they requested yesterday, and that will put it at about 90 still.
We want to make sure we keep enough. Gotta get it done. Question, comments, all in favor, say aye. Passes. Lindsay, you have anything?
I was over here, so I thought I'd sit and listen.
Sit more than sit. Stand.
No, I sit all day.
Okay, we'll go back up to public comment with the city. Yeah.
I absolutely apologize for not being here on time. Work was hectic, my alarm went off, I ignored it, and then thank God I got a text message. First and foremost, I would like to offer my thanks and appreciation on this specific project. Rough estimate, I did have my guys look on what the city had to invest. A lot less than I thought it was. Roughly $2,200 were in landfill fees. He did, just for the numbers, put in what it would cost to rent a skidster per day and the equipment that the city provided, plus fuel, plus wages. The city's contribution on this was $3,334. A lot less than I thought it was going to be. The amount of comments that we have received specifically just having it done, a lot. And I, again, would like to thank you guys for allowing us to do this. And if you have one of these lots done, cleaned up, and hopefully you guys can have some interest on it and sell it, and we can get it back on the tax roll. It would be awesome. So that's all I really wanted to say. Just thank you very much.
And from the, to add to that, Chris, from the county side, I had Derek asked him to keep track of the expenses from the county side, and I think we were at $1,500, call it $1,550. That was fuel and labor. That doesn't put anything, as far as equipment expenses on it, but fuel and labor on there.
You could probably add another 500 or so to that.
So I mean, if a guy was gonna rent all that equipment, I would guess it would be probably wash with where the city is. Obviously, we have the equipment already, just our flat outlying expenses to get the job done.
And I think you guys did provide some of the filter, correct?
There was no basement. I don't know that they hauled anything in. They said there was just a crawl space underneath there, so.
I know we did provide some filter. I wasn't quite 100% sure if that was all of it that was needed. Yeah, I don't think there was a crawl space, so there wasn't anything.
Yeah,
real.
And I never got into the weeds with the road guys out there. I know we had 4 guys in, figured out to about 10 hours for each of the 4 guys. So we had 40 man hours into it, plus the fuel.
Yep.
Talked to the guys. They said it was, the only complaint that I heard from the guys is the city guys took a lunch break.
Oh.
Because one of the trucks went out to dump and they were on lunch, and some of the material stuck, because you guys had a backhoe up there.
Oh, okay.
That was the one complaint that I heard, is that one guy was a little frosted and their load was stuck and they couldn't get it to fly out. But to be honest with you, the 4 guys that were in there was Derek, Cody, Ryan, and Jonah. So those were the 4 guys that were in there, and I met with them that afternoon as I'm moving equipment out, and they said, which one's next?
I bet you Cody was the one that complained.
I bet you're right.
The only complaint, and it's not a complaint, but we had issues with the compactor out at the landfill. So scheduling was sort of an issue there, but that was more on crap happens, sort of a thing. Hopefully, I do think the new pump for the compactor was installed early this week or late last week. I can't remember what day it was. They did try to fix it by a seal. Of course, the seal did not work, so they did put a new pump onto it. Thank God that was under warranty. And hopefully, we won't have any issues moving forward. Scheduling was a little bit, and then I think I contacted you
Yeah.
on a Tuesday. And I'm like, what are they doing? The city can't be there on Tuesday. I said, well, the guys were bored and wanted something to them do, so they ended up, all they did was clean the yard. Which,
Yeah.
from experience, that is the second or third time that yard has been cleaned in the past 7 or 8 years. I know we did it under Clean Sweep one year, and it was as bad or even worse, but I have talked to a few from the school, and they're very happy about it, just the eyesore in itself. So
It was a big deal, and I know Derek went in the day before, wanted to make sure that they weren't gonna have anything that was gonna surprise them, pop tires, anything like that. Chris and I did have a little bit of a meltdown in the scheduling thing. My apologies.
No.
Misread a text message.
Yeah.
But it all worked out, and I think it looks pretty good.
no, I think it looks great.
Expenses were.
There's a tree that everybody wanted to take down, but safety did not, that we couldn't. There's one in the very front end of that I think, when we have a little more time, the city can absolutely do that.
Sure.
But just for safety issues. Moving forward, I know the city's looking at the two that you guys are going to deed over to us. There was some talk about a potential buyer for those, which again, since the city did not have to pay for them, it was gonna be something like, we're going to mandate that those lots are cleaned. And that, it looks like those are falling through those, so the city will, at some point, once that deed follows through, schedule to get those down, and we're hoping to do all of that in-house. There are a few more that I would like to see done, kind of held in limbo now that we absolutely can't touch. But to add on to that, these city lots that are done, the city has put 2 new houses down on Custer Street. Scheduling with
Pretty
the
nice.
Majestic Homes is gonna take a little bit of time. I think they have a 6 to 8 week time window by the time they get set to when they have to turn the keys over to us. And then we have to figure out how we're gonna sell them. I know you guys were talking about, the homes.
Yeah.
What's that?
House Bill 819, that.
And there's some money there, and that would work for some of these low.
Well, and so ours all came from CDBG funding as well as Brownsville funding. There are stipulations as far as we have to have them, appraised. And our regulations say that we can't sell them for even a penny over what they price. We can sell them for whatever we want under that, but, and then there are some stipulations with HUD as far as income levels and that. When we started this, which we think is a miscommunication between the state and us, because in working with GNDC, we wanted to ensure that these were open to purchase for pretty much everybody. So we'll have those two. Once we get that funding back, we can either turn it back over to the state, or we can use it to beautify 2 other lots. Well, as many as we can, which is what we're thinking about right now. Just add more housing, more new housing, and yeah, no, I think it's an amazing deal. I would think
Have
that,
we give those other 2 lots to these guys yet, to the city yet?
I think it had to be advertised
Debbie
first.
was working on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well,
I'm,
that's all it costs the county to do that. Why don't the county go in and help them clean them up? Especially that apartment building over there, and get it out of here.
you know, I will say, Gary, because you have said it a lot, there was a couple Well, there's at least one comment that I did see, about, I'm assuming a
Oh,
non-city
yeah.
resident make that
Yeah,
comment.
but see, I'll be gone, so they've got.
No, I mean, I completely understand that. I understand if
Yeah.
county equipment being used in city limits,
Yeah.
especially county road equipment, which by both of our research does not get paid by my county tax.
No, they don't.
My county taxes pay for a lot of things.
None of
On
the
the county,
incorporated
but
cities pay.
none of the road stuff.
Yeah.
So I understand that. But I think it is the duty of or me as the mayor, and if any other city would like to pursue something like this, to absolutely argue the point that the cleaner the city, the more of these that are on the tax roll absolutely benefits all of us.
Yeah.
Not just the city. The city, yes, we get taxes, I get my specials. I get more than the county does when it comes to in town. But those lots will generate a little bit of taxes for the county. And the way that the city did it and the way that I insisted it be done is you guys still own that lot. If you have, let's say, $2,500 in fees or in stuff that was onto this, you guys can sell that for $2,500. That goes back into the county. You guys have recouped 100% of your guys' offset on this, which works out well for you because I understand what you guys are doing for us.
Well, the big thing too is getting it back on the tax roll. I did get one comment on the lot. That happened to be family member, my son, I will say, throwing him under the bus. Why the county was cleaning up the city lot, and I said, it's not a city lot. I said, the county took it for tax. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I think the clarification of that is it was still a county took it for tax deed. It was a joint effort between the county and city, it wasn't a city lot. Then he understood it, but I did catch a little flack from him on it.
And if this happens again, which I hope it does, I would ask for the same thing to happen. I mean, the city is benefiting specifically by those lots being cleaned up and by the opportunity of them getting put back on the tax roll. There is benefit on all of us. And if it stays as a county lot, again, which I would absolutely say it should stay, and you guys can do whatever you like to do with it. As far as the city goes, it still helps out the city a lot. So, no, I think it worked out perfectly, except for a few issues, which I think we all knew what was going to happen on that. I think it went out without a hitch. Worked out great.
Well, according to my math, we're between the city and county combined, under $5,000.
Yeah.
$4,800, call it $5,000.
That's probably a quarter of the cost of us actually setting it up for actual bids. So
It was, if you were to hire somebody to do it, what was this last one, 30? I think you guys said on the corner here.
that was.
More time.
Yeah.
It was about
I think
52.
I think the last time the city had any of them done, and that was with some CDBG funding, it was between like 17 and 25 is what the cost was to outsource that.
So I'm,
Which I understand, they're paying everything, they're paying fuel, they're paying wages, equipment, they're paying outfits.
What's been on the machine for $200 a month?
Well, I mean, just the machine, I suppose, would be 200. Without a operator.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely it does, absolutely. So, but again, I just
looks good down there.
say thank you guys, we really appreciate it. Really appreciate it.
Which two are you looking at now? The paid apartment, what's the other one?
I don't know, the second one.
What's the second one, the Fada apartment?
Fada Apartments was the one that the city was gonna take over, as well as a property on the 400 block of 400. I'm sorry, 4th Avenue South. Yeah. It is in between Edgar and Dawson Street. It is a house that is completely burnt down.
Yeah.
There isn't any structure left. There's a lot of, I'm assuming it's a crawl space too. My worry on that one is the trees that surround it, all of them are dead. So my intention is to have the city go in there, clean it up, backfill it and take down all those trees, the dead trees. It's a safety issue. Mine, that one should be relatively easy for the city to do because there isn't anything really high. I think everything on the Theta apartments that's down, I've been assured that we can pretty much clean that up relatively easily. The structure that is still standing, they said they can take it down there. Biggest worry on that is using an older to do it and having flat tires.
You can sort of all that metal.
I would hope that we can put it in the wetware pile. So that the cost of the landfill isn't
Just
necessary.
have the crusher guy just sit his piece of equipment there. Crush it right there.
You don't have to worry about lead paint on that apartment,
That I don't know yet. Well,
don't ask. This will be recorded.
the city will move forward with that in the safest way possible. I did get a little thing in my ear about the vets club. So there's a few entities out there that are working at attempting to finally get
There's a
that.
church that owns that yet.
Correct, sir, correct. I have been told that there is potentially money available from the feds as far as the Brownsfield program, so we're trying to find a way to get that cleaned up. So we're absolutely moving forward, and I think that the county and the city have a way, it's just another way that we can do this faster. But the city in itself is looking at ways to do it on their own too, all the time.
Well, I think everything's moving in the right direction, just
Absolutely.
sometimes might not be as fast
Yeah.
as some of us would like, or others would like, but
Forward progress is forward progress.
one piece at a time.
Yep, yes, sir. So thank you guys very much.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Any other business? 12 o'clock, we got a party for Gary.
As this is, before we close, as this is Gary's official last meeting, I would like to thank him for his 25 plus years of service to Roosevelt County, and as the newest commissioner in here, he's been an asset for me to helping me kind of navigate the waters. So thank you, Gary, for all your years of service, and thank you personally for what you helped me with.
Okay. You're welcome. Make a motion, meeting be adjourned.
So,